All right, boys, welcome. Episode 1 of the Total Football Talk show. National break is over.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Finally.
Well, not really thank goodness. I enjoyed my national break.
Same
I don't know about you guys.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it.
I've been dying for the Premier League to be back.
No, it was good. It was a good national break. Obviously, Greece beating Scotland
Yep.
at Hampden. Not easy, but
Yep.
8 youngsters, surprisingly, for the first time in our football history, 8 youngsters started for the national team that are below the age of 23,
Wow.
which is
It's a
really
thing.
good. And
That's
it's
good. I think they're learning from Spain.
Well, I think it's the best,
It is.
you know, bringing youngsters in, and I think they've got more hunger than the older guys,
Yeah.
which was shown on the pitch as well.
Mm.
But,
The hunger,
no.
the passion.
Yeah. No, it was a good game. 3-0. 17-year-old scored. So it's the youngest. I think him and Yamal are leading now the youngest scorers in the national team. So
Wow.
it's good.
It was a good finish too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Left foot top bins.
First
Yeah.
time as well.
First time.
First time.
First time, yeah. And that's not hard sometimes. I know from personal experience.
No, but it was a good national break. But I was excited. And I'm sure you guys are excited as well that the club football is back.
Yeah.
It's well overdue. 2 weeks is too long.
Wait,
Yeah.
bro, honestly, it felt like a month.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
was just sitting there and I'm like, when is Chelsea playing next? When is Barca playing next? when is Arsenal playing next?
it felt like it was off season, like season was finished.
Yeah, yeah.
It just that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It just finished like it was finished. There was no. It's just international. It's like it was like Euros or World Cup. We're just watching that. That's all it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it was entertaining for some reason.
Look, there were
this
some
week.
very good games.
There were.
Like there were some very good games.
entertaining ones.
Yeah, there were.
I mean,
But, yeah,
Croatia
no.
beating France 2-0.
And then
France coming back and winning the
Yeah.
second leg, taking it to penalties. Croatia
Yeah.
still had a chance.
Belgium, they lost 1-0, I believe it was in the last game against, was it Denmark?
Yeah.
No, Denmark beat Portugal.
Yeah,
Denmark beat Portugal, then Portugal beat Denmark.
And then they came
Belgium and
back.
Ukraine.
They
Belgium and
come back,
Ukraine.
yeah.
Yeah, Belgium and Ukraine was 1-0. And then next thing you know, Lukaku, who I was giving shit, ended up scoring 2 goals.
Well, yeah. I think that's happened to me so many times. I talk
Yeah.
crap about a player, and then,
And then
the next week they just
pull up,
yeah.
which is pretty funny. Hey, you know what? That's just like
But look,
commentator's curse.
club football is back. Before we start, I just want to give a shout out to 27 Project as well for having us.
Shout out to them.
Amazing facilities here.
Yep.
Not just the studio room. Obviously, there's a massive facility that they've built, and they're doing really well.
Yep.
So all the best to them as well. So props to them. A big shout out. So thank you so much. But yeah, club football is back.
Yep.
Interesting games coming up leading to the end of the season. I think Fulham Arsenal is playing. We've got Fulham Arsenal coming up.
That's a game I'm looking forward to.
It's like a derby. It's because it's a London club. Because Chelsea versus Fulham, because I've been to the stadium, and to get to the Chelsea stadium, and to get to the Chelsea stadium, you get off at Fulham. So it is based in London, so it's going to be pretty much a rival game, like a derby for them.
Fulham's an interesting team over the years. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen even prior 2015, they just had a very, very interesting team that could pull off big results against big clubs. Those are the teams that I'm scared of. Like it's always the bottom, I think 10th and below
Yeah.
are the teams
mid-tables.
yeah, those are the teams that are very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And destroy hopes for someone winning a title. It's happened before.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they've got nothing to lose, right? So they just go for it.
Yeah.
And that's why, I always say those teams are very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Always.
very, very dangerous because they're not afraid to just go for the game and just go for the win.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you watching Arsenal play this year and last year as well, like teams tend to sit back a bit, but the teams that go for it tend to get goals too.
Yeah.
Speaking of dangerous, Nottingham Forest killing it. They're third in the league.
Yeah. They're above Chelsea, unfortunately.
And United.
And whatever. But
I was saying it, and we were speaking about it in the car driving here. The two teams that I go for the same owner. So Nottingham Forest, Marinakis is the owner,
Yeah.
and he's the owner of Olympiacos. So he's really pretty much screwing me over in two different leagues. One in the Greek league and one in the English Premier League, which is,
Which is unfortunate.
which is very unfortunate. But
Maybe it's a good thing.
it's the worst thing, bro. What do you mean? I wake up one result, they beat us, and then they beat us in the Premier League as well. But he's done well. Look, he's built Nottingham Forest. Exactly what he's done with Olympiacos, spent money. He's done with Nottingham Forest as well.
And they have a respectful manager, in my opinion, Nuno Santos. He had his goes in Wolves, built a whole Portuguese team.
I remember
Wanted
that.
to have the national team for some reason. I'm surprised he didn't get Ronaldo. That would have been the icing on the cake on that, that Wolves team. But then he went to Tottenham, failed over there, but Tottenham is Tottenham.
Yeah, everyone
Any
fails
coach,
at Tottenham.
if you look at it, any coach that goes to Tottenham, no matter how good he is, has failed. And it's not the coach, in my opinion. It's the club and the lack of players.
I wouldn't say every coach has failed. Didn't they win a trophy?
What, the
When?
Audi Cup? You counting the Audi Cup?
Who was that with, Pochettino?
I think that was with Poch. But Audi Cup, like, is that even a cup? I find that
Look, it's something.
that's like it's like saying
It's something. Come on, it's something.
It's nothing.
Yeah, but like, when did they win it?
Wow,
I think it was like 8 years, 10 years ago, maybe.
it's been a while.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
But look, bring into that.
Mourinho did well with them.
Mourinho did well. Was it them? Was he the one that?
They reached the Champions League final.
No, that was with Pochettino.
I'm saying
Watch.
as a club, they also reached the Champions League final.
Yeah.
They reached the cup final and then they sacked Mourinho.
No, they reached. I think it was a cup final.
And then they sacked Mourinho.
And then they
for that.
sacked Mourinho.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
for the Champions League final,
They had Pochettino.
that Poch.
But then again, that was the worst. That
was the
Champions
worst
League.
Champions League
That was the
final,
worst Champions League final I've ever watched.
But I wouldn't say that every coach has failed. I mean, look at Ange, the start of the season last season.
Yeah, but he plays high pressing, high line football.
Yeah.
He's
And
sat top of the league for
Chelsea
a bit.
exposed them hard.
Yeah. Well,
Destroyed
didn't they get a red card against us as well?
They got red carded, but how do you
And
play a high line
They
and then
got
just?
the high line.
It felt like I was watching Sunday League. It was just
Do you think
grassroots soccer.
if Poch stayed, it would have been a difference? Like
What do you mean?
they would have won a trophy.
No, they would never win. I find Postecoglou actually a good fit for Tottenham. As much as they're hating him, I think just give the guy time. If you can give Arteta time, why can't you give Postecoglou time? I like his style, Postecoglou. And what other manager are you going to go for? It's like saying
They've
It's
gone
like-
through a
it's
list.
like
I think a
saying-
lot of
good
managers are.
managers.
I think a lot of managers are avoiding Tottenham, getting that Tottenham job.
Well, 100%, but think of it this way. It's like saying you get the best of the best brand, but then gives you the same result.
Yeah.
So you might as well get the mid-tier or the lower tier brand because it's still going to give you the same result. It's like a Mike or Camwell or anything like that. It's the same result for Tottenham. So you might as well stay with Postecoglou. Who else are you going to go get? You think of it. What coach are they going to get right now? Think of it. Who will they get?
I think since Ange has come into Tottenham, I think they've actually started playing better football.
Yeah.
That's
They're
what I've seen.
entertaining.
That's what I've seen. They're entertaining. They're attacking.
Yeah.
I think when you look at their squad and the injuries that they've sustained,
Yeah.
I think that's what's letting them down
100%.
Yeah.
because they've got decent players, but when half your defensive line is injured
Exactly.
and two of your main midfielders are injured, how you going to play?
And this is the problem I have with, I wouldn't say fans, but even the club itself, like the directors and everything. They expect the managers to make miracles when, like you just said,
They don't have the tools
they
for
don't
it.
have the tools for it.
They don't have the tools for it.
When, like you said, they were performing really well at the start. They beat City.
They were
And
killing it.
be in mind, that was City, not
That- yeah,
they
that
had
was-
Rodri,
yeah.
they had
Yeah, yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
And
They were
they beat
killing it.
City. They were playing beautiful football. It was attacking ass football. But then I swear to God, it was like dropping like flies. Bang, Romero, bang,
Yeah.
Van der Ven, bang, what's the other guys? And
Madison.
Dragonson,
And then Madison got injured.
everyone just started falling. It's like they're broken. It's like someone shot him every time.
I'll never forget. And then I think it was Romero comes back for a game.
And he gets injured. He gets injured again.
Oh, he got sent off. I think one game
it was
too.
I think the thing with Tottenham is like the fans especially, they expect highly of Tottenham. I think they need to start from low.
But what do you like? They haven't won anything, so why are you expecting? Why is your expectation so high?
A trophy.
No. But
No, but like what I'm trying to say
Mickey Mouse.
What I'm trying to say is that they expect high expectations just because they got a big new stadium, they got money, they've got an owner that can spend but won't spend.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's another thing.
Yeah, Daniel.
You say you've got money.
I don't think
It is true.
Buy players.
No, it's Daniel Levy.
Reinforce your squad.
Daniel Levy wastes his money buying coaches,
I know.
than buying players.
I know.
Yeah.
And the shock in factor is that they actually, I said it like this actually. So I was saying this to my mates. I was saying for Tottenham, they were never going to succeed if Harry Kane was in that team. They were like how Mbappe was for PSG and how well PSG is playing. They're dragging him. He's dragging them down. It's not because Kane is egotistic or anything like that. I just found they were relying on him way too much.
Everything
and
goes
same
through
as Son.
Kane.
You know
Same
what
as Son.
you know what the thing is? The goals were there. It's just either the mid and the defending.
Yeah.
If they had a solid defense and just two,
Well, if the defense wasn't injured, they would have a solid
Yeah.
defense.
They do.
They've got amazing.
They've got-
scoring goals for Tottenham wasn't an issue. Kane was there. If you give him a right, through ball or whatnot, he'll get there and he'll score. That's a
It
guarantee.
was assisting too. Don't forget
Yeah.
that.
The problem
His
was,
distribution was
it was conceding the goals. And I think, let's say if they're winning 1-0, 2-0, they just drop off second half and concede.
If I can go through their lineup, past and present, what they had, and then what they don't have anymore. So Lloris is gone. Gazzaniga is in there now. Oh no, Vicario. Gazzaniga is in what's his name? He's in Girona or somewhere in La Liga. But Vicario came in. Good keeper. He's a good keeper.
He's a very good goalkeeper.
You got rid of Kane, and then do you realize who's popping off for them? They got Solanke, which is good, but Kulusevski is just popping off.
Kulusevski stepped up.
He's just popping off, and he's doing well.
I think I took I got to watch Kulusevski play and actually paid attention to him a couple of years ago, and he always had that
Flair of him
in him,
yeah.
where he'd get the ball and he'd go for a run or he'd take a player on and you think, oh shit, this guy's good.
Yeah.
This guy's good, but he never
got it out of it.
He never really stepped out of that
shell.
shell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until now he's scoring amazing goals.
Yeah, he is.
But
He's doing really well. Then you have their midfield. You got Gray, who just popped off.
Archie Gray's doing well.
Archie came out of nowhere.
Madison.
But see, this is my next thing about it as well. Sometimes the injuries are good, even though it's not a good thing for a player. We don't want anyone to get injured. I don't want to bound out on anyone. But it's a good thing for the youngsters.
Gives opportunity.
Gives them opportunity. And then what do you see? You see new talent come into play, and it gives them the opportunity to play. The problem, this one club, which is our club, me and you, is Chelsea. If we didn't get the transfer ban, all the youngsters we had, Tomori, Abraham, Mount, James, they all would have never got the chance.
That's true.
Because
that's true.
Youth is key to success in the future, as always. And they, when you don't play, I find it like how Man United is actually the best one that's actually been doing this, and Man City, but mainly Man United. The reason why I'm saying Man United is because Rashford came from the youth.
Lingard.
What
He's doing
he popped off.
He was a good player.
He did all right.
But who's popping off for you guys? Well, he's not always popping off, but Garnacho. And he was youth. Young players just coming out of nowhere. It gives them the opportunity, which is a beautiful thing to happen. And for Tottenham, it's a good thing, but youth also has flaws. Experience. Okay? And you can't bringing back to Postecoglou, you can't blame Postecoglou for losing games.
No.
And
I think the way he was treated as well,
he's getting treated like shit.
Like he walks down the tunnel and they're just abusing him. It's like, mate,
what do you want me to do?
He's not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like he's generally trying to make Tottenham better, but
And I genuinely believe they are playing better.
Yeah.
They're playing so
They
much
are.
better.
Yeah.
You watch
They are.
Tottenham play now. Look back to that Champions League final.
Mm.
It was worst game of football probably I've ever seen.
In the goal.
Right?
In the goal. It was a penalty. I believe to this day it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
It's not, in my opinion.
But then you watch them play now, and they're
Yeah.
attacking, and they're
Yeah.
going at it, and there's combination play there. There's a system that they're playing in.
They were scoring like every game like 2 goals above. Like they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
they were just
They were
banging in
killing it
goals. They were
until the
banging.
injuries happened. Yeah.
Yeah. But I find, look, with Chelsea this week, is it this coming week, Friday for us?
April 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, so Friday we're playing them.
It's going to be
That
an
game-
interesting game.
That game is going to be a back and forth game because Cole Palmer is back, Jackson is back, Madueke is back. Question is, and Lavia as well, are they going to play? We don't know.
We will see.
If they don't all play, Tottenham, depending on what Tottenham has as well, if they line up, if whoever's come back from there, Chelsea won't win that game. I think it'll just be a boring 0-0 or 1-0, as how many games have been from Chelsea has been that depressing to watch.
That's the frustrating part. Like, you want your team to succeed, you want them to go, and then they're screwing up 1-1 draws against, I'd say village teams, but teams that
Mid-tier
you know
teams.
you'd have expect a higher budget from Chelsea compared to like a Fulham.
Yeah.
But it's just at the end of the day, it's just who wants it more.
Yeah.
These guys
Actually.
are like, Fulham's like, I don't give a shit. Like, we're going at it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of football.
Mm.
I'd love to see those small teams go at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But moving on,
Yeah.
there's obviously some breaking news that we've
Yeah.
copped
the
about
way
2
home.
hours ago on the way to the to
That's
the
right.
studio. The Brazilian national team coach has been sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Argentina
it was been,
sent him away.
I think it was yeah. Oh, that was a good game as well.
Yeah.
I think that was brewing.
Mm. It was bound to happen, yeah.
He wasn't. Out of all the Brazilian coaches that I've known and I've seen over the years, he was probably the least favorite for the Brazilian national team, I reckon.
Well, he hasn't won. I wouldn't say he hasn't won anything, but I think he has. Like, he hasn't brought the spotlight, not spotlight, but he hasn't brought the best play of football with that Brazilian national team. Like how I used to remember when I was younger. Obviously, when I was younger, they had R9. You know, they had Kaká, they have everybody.
They had
But,
a squad.
They had a squad. They had a squad. If anything, you just tell the kids, hey, kids, go play, win me something, and then come back to me and say
But
thank
that's
you.
the thing. That's the thing with the Brazilian national team, especially Brazil.
Mm.
You could put any coach in there.
He
If
just
it was
took-
R9, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo,
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos,
Yeah.
literally the players would be like,
Michael.
we can handle it. Don't worry about it. All the coach does is just literally sits down on the bench and,
And then
just says nothing.
tells them at halftime, you know, gives them a bit of a talk to. You know who's the perfect example as a coach that did that?
Who?
Zidane.
Yeah, actually.
with Real
Madrid.
Madrid.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. 3 Champions Leagues back to back, and
What did he do? Honestly,
Go
I
play
don't think
football.
he actually did anything. He just had a team, and he just told the team, you know what? Look, go play. Here's the formation. You guys play, and I'll think about the tactics, but you just do it.
I think as well. We need to understand sometimes football is not that complicated.
No.
If you play it smart, you can win.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
like how Johan Cruyff says, simple football is the hardest.
Of
football.
course,
Yeah.
of course, and I think that's why Madrid won 3 in a row, because they kept it simple.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't overcomplicate it.
No.
They didn't put themselves into situations where it's like, you know, all right, there were some games that they struggled in, but they pulled it
Yeah.
off.
And
And I think they're the kings of pulling it off. And like
Yeah.
it's
they pull out games good.
it's been good. It's been good. Like they've proven it over the years as well. And even for this team, I think this team now is weaker than obviously when Ronaldo was there,
100%.
Bale, Benzema, and
Yeah.
all that.
I agree. But
Put 2 and 2 together, the previous teams were much better. But
Yeah.
these guys, the new youngsters, Bellingham and all that, are just pulling it off as well. But I
That's
don't
true.
think this is going to come as a shock. But I don't think Madrid's going to win the Champions League.
but this year,
Yeah,
I see.
I don't know.
Look.
I see a Bayern Munich winning it.
Really,
Yeah,
I find Bayern Munich was the one that was not performing the best.
I don't know. I just
They're
have a
underperforming.
feeling
Yeah.
Madrid's.
underperforming.
I don't know. I would want to see a Barca Madrid final.
Yes, that would be amazing. But look, we all know this is their competition, Champions League. They will win it. Like they know how to win it. But if I had to pick a team that will win it this year, it's either Barca, and if PSG keeps that up how it is and Dembele keeps his form and he's done it in the international break as well, it'll be PSG as well. It could be a possibility for once. And I'd be happy for them to win it.
They actually have a very, on paper, PSG have a very solid team.
Solid team.
Yeah.
They have a very solid team.
Yeah. Bringing back,
and they do have experience.
yes, they
They're
do.
not. They're not.
Even by
they don't have an
coach.
older team.
Yeah,
They're probably sitting around 27, 28 for
Yeah.
like an average age.
yeah, but they do have youngsters.
They're in that
as well.
sweet
Yeah.
spot of I'm young, I'm experienced,
And I'm talented.
and talented.
Bringing it back to that Brazilian team.
Actually, I want to actually ask a question on that Brazilian team. Look at all these Brazilian players now playing the Premier League, playing in La Liga. On paper, they actually have a very decent squad.
I remember.
You can build a very decent Brazilian squad right now.
Yeah, but I think we just passed. Was it the World Cup we just passed? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the Euros?
Euros,
So, you won't say Euros, but during the same time, Euros is
Copa.
the Copa plays at the same time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, during the Copa America, I looked at that Brazilian team, and I think someone said this. I don't know if it was Dino or someone, or I think it was R9 said this. You look at that Brazilian team and you go, who the fuck's that? You know what I mean? Like you look at it and you go, who's in this? Who's
Yeah, but
in
that's
this Brazilian
expected
team?
nowadays. Like you don't
know anybody in that team that's special. Like you'll look at Neymar and you're like, okay, he's the special one in that
Yeah.
team. Like
Yeah.
he's the flair player, compared to how it was way back.
depends.
Way
when he
back was different.
Depends when he shows up as well.
Exactly. Or if he's not injured. But bringing it way back, every position, you knew who they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at it now, you're like, you only know these guys from FIFA or EAFC. You only know them from there. Like, like playing the game and these Brazilians, you pack them like 500 times and then you could discard them. But
But a lot of these players do play in the top 5
they do.
teams in the top leagues.
But they do. But then when you put them all together, do they really perform?
Yeah.
Like,
So do you think it's a player? Do you think it's the players, or do you think that
I think
they
it's
just need a
Then
coach
I think it's an ego
that
problem.
can get the best out of
I
it?
think it's an ego problem.
well, bringing to the coach, like, and this comes with Real Madrid, the primary candidate is Carlo Ancelotti. Now, Ancelotti plays with, he coaches Vini and Rodrigo.
And
Militao.
Militao.
And Militao, yes, Militao.
And
But, and you got Endrick, there you go. So he's got
a couple of Brazilians in there.
I think he's just building a national team in Real Madrid. I don't know what's going on. But if you look at the team, like those players are good players, very good players. And in my opinion, like what he's done with Vinny is amazing. Remember, he started off as a flop. But then what he did, he popped off. But Rodrigo is very, very, how do they say it? What do they call it? It's like under... what do they call that word?
Underperforming.
No,
he's not performing. He's underrated.
Yeah, he's
I think
underrated.
From the perspective of a Barcelona fan, I think the two most exciting players, aside from Lamine Yamal, that I've watched over the last 2 seasons, have been watching Rafinha grow
Yeah.
Yeah.
and watching Rodrigo step out of that shadow and just performing at the level of maybe a top 5 player in the world at the moment.
Especially Rafinha.
Rafinha is killing it for us, but Rodrigo was always
There.
he was always in the shadow. He was always he was there, but he never really stepped out and was like, I'm here and this is what I can do. He's assisting. He's coming off the bench and scoring goals.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He's coming off the bench and he's assisting.
I
He
wanna-
scores goals and no one cares.
I want to bring up something that I ended up seeing on TikTok. Shout out Abdul. We spoke about this in the car as well. It was, I wouldn't say controversial. It was a comment that opened some eyes and some ears, and it's would DePaul was it De Paul would get into
would start in that Barca midfield. I think
would start in that Barca midfield. Rodrigo, what's his name? De Paul.
Rodrigo De Paul. Yeah.
Would
if
he
I'm
start in that
right,
Barca team
in that midfield?
over De Jong and was it Gavi?
Pedri, Gavi.
Pedri Gavi, in my eyes, is Xavi and Iniesta all over again, but they just need more time to develop. They're not that Xavi and Iniesta.
Don't get me wrong. Rodrigo De Paul is a good player,
He is.
but I don't think he would get into that Barca team.
I find him. He's a passion player. Like as in, he will go into every challenge.
He's a hard
100%.
worker.
He's a hard worker.
But
He's
I don't think he'll
older,
fit
he's
into that system of
experienced.
Barca.
The reason why I will say he doesn't fit is because of how Simeone plays and he's defensive.
Rock and
Barca
roll
does
football.
not play defensive.
Atletico plays rock and roll football. They just go into challenges. Barca's more authentic.
Structured.
They play for more structured, more
Short
organised.
passing.
Not saying Atletico's not organised, but Atletico is a team that just goes in.
But
Like if
well,
it's a derby, they go in.
Atletico, yeah, I would say is a very, very organised team because of how Simeone is set up. Very defensive and very well compact team. De Paul going into a Barca team where they love countering, but they just play football.
Yeah.
That's their philosophy, playing simple football. And De Paul, you won't really see that from him in Barca.
But does he have the qualities to do it?
He's got the defensive quality, and he's got you could say, the mindset of going into every bloody challenge. But attacking wise, I don't see it. Like when I look at it, I go, okay, put him in Pedri's position. But Pedri is attacking and he gives these through balls and does all the football. You like what Iniesta used to do. And I look at the
football that you expect from Barcelona is pretty much
that's what I mean. I don't see that in the
It's a
football.
different level of football.
Yeah.
It's different. But speaking of De Paul, I mean, look at Argentina.
What a game that was.
Enzo Fernandez
Enzo's
scored
popping
again.
off, yeah.
Mm.
It's popping off, but he doesn't do that for Chelsea. If you haven't realised, in Chelsea, he does the attacking. He does get up a lot, but he doesn't attack well. But you know why? Quality around the field.
Mm.
And Argentina, they didn't have Messi. And every time Messi played, apparently they scored like more than 2 or 3 goals against.
Imagine
Imagine if Messi played, it would have been like 7, because the last time they played was 7-1 and
Wow.
Messi scored 2, I think it was. But that Argentina team, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the final again in
the World Cup.
Copa America and the World Cup, because it is a well compact team.
Yeah. A lot of controversy came about during the 22 World Cup in Qatar.
Mm.
Watching Argentina play now and seeing the results,
Yeah.
do you think that they are proving themselves as the best team in the world? Are they saying, listen, we are the best team in the world?
They're champions.
We are we are holding the World Cup still.
Yeah.
We're the defending champions and we're here to stay.
Yeah, I agree. I actually believe it because the way they're playing is amazing.
I think
Do you think Messi
the World Cup
Yeah.
the 2022 World Cup that happened when Argentina won, it wasn't convincing to say we're a powerhouse. Like,
No.
I mean, if you look at the results that Argentina had, they
Yeah.
lost the first game against Saudi Arabia.
That was a setup.
Like,
Oh no,
it wasn't
That was
it
a
wasn't
game.
convincing where they're smashing through teams and
No.
we're a powerhouse and all that.
They just got the job done.
Half of their goals were penalties.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right, everyone can come and jump on and say, right, well, they still want it. Messi's the king, the GOAT, whatever.
He is.
Debatable. Anyways, it just goes to show, like, all right, they've won the World Cup, but it wasn't convincing enough. Now, everyone watching this would probably think, oh, this guy's a Ronaldo supporter and all that. I'm not a Ronaldo supporter.
Mm.
Generally speaking, I support both players because we're so lucky to live in a generation where we have these two players.
100%.
Like, we saw the best out of these two players prime.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a blessing seeing those two players. All right, you can put the GOAT debate and whatever, just get people talking and whatnot. But for me, they brought both players had a unique style
Yeah.
in their own way, and they brought a beautiful side of football that we've most likely might not see again.
Yeah. Oh, we don't need to. We'll leave the.
Who are we going to say it? Well, you know,
Yeah. We'll leave that out of there because that's another whole conversation. That will go for
that's a whole
they'll
other
go for
episode.
they'll go for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about it.
but yeah, look, like I said, it's a game that with Argentina especially, it's everyone's starting to, and it happens nearly every 4 years. Like you get up and coming youngsters that come out of nowhere, like Yamal and you know Pedri, Gavi, and all that. Like
That actually brought just like you just mentioning Lamine Yamal. That kind of says like you're trying to say is Argentina proving their worth of being champion, World Cup, world champions in their Copa America, their qualifications. They are performing like world champions. But then if you put them against Spain is playing beautiful football. And they were the Euros champions, deservedly. Okay, so when you put them two against, they are equally I wouldn't say equally the same, but they're equally entertaining. But putting them two together, they are both proving they can be both. No, they're both proving to be champions of their own right of whichever competition.
Yeah.
They're Argentina is proving they're champions. From a period where Spain wasn't that good. Okay, Lamine Yamal wasn't there in that World Cup.
I think Spain.
They had an older squad.
Spain pressed the reset button.
Yeah,
they literally a reset.
They had a retiring
It's like
squad.
we won the Euros twice. We won the World Cup. Reset.
Yeah, they got the little needle and put it on the back of their players and
literally reset.
reset.
But it's good. It's refreshing to see new players as well.
It's good to see.
It's always refreshing
because I think the way Spain has been playing is exciting.
Yeah.
They have a lot of young boys.
Yeah, a
lot of quality, lacking experience.
Yeah,
but the quality is there. And I think we kind of touched up on it a while ago. We were talking about these teams moving on to the future and what they look like. In 4 or 5 years, that Spanish team is going to look
very good,
really, really scary.
And if any other players pop up out of nowhere, like if say for example, Lamine Yamal he's 17 now.
17, he'll be in his like early 20s.
Yeah, let's say he's 21 years old and he's still performing at that highest level, and then you got another 17-year-old just came out of nowhere from the academy or something.
I mean, look at Pedri and Gavi. Will be a bit older, be more experienced.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, you just got a dominant Spain team. The question is the other teams are going to keep up as well? Because other teams can pop up out of nowhere. France will pop up out of nowhere with random French players, as always.
Yeah. I was going to say Argentina now is probably in a much better position than they were at that World Cup.
Yeah.
A lot of older players have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Messi will play the next World Cup. I mean, he's still doing well. I don't know if he'll be able to compete at that world stage at that level. But I mean, play like Di Maria, who was so effective.
He was vital. Yeah, he was very vital for their win for the World Cup.
I think he was their most valuable player in that World Cup.
Yeah.
But a player like him who's older, he's not going to play in the next World Cup. Are we going to see a higher quality Argentina now? Experienced players, a couple of youngsters coming into the squad. Is that going to be...
It's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Just keep watching.
Let's just do a time travel, go into the future. I'll be back, guys.
No, but it's...
Welcome to episode 3.
I think we're building... I think football now is building an exciting next couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got all these big competitions coming up. We've got the Euros next year.
Is the Euros next year? I thought it was the World Cup next year. Was it? When is the World Cup? I think it was the
World Cup is 26.
No, it's
World Cup.
World Cup. I was going to say Euros would just pass.
The Euros just finished.
Yeah.
So many competitions.
Yeah.
But yeah, World Cup next year. It's something to look forward to. Group stages have been leaked already.
We got shafted. Who got shafted?
Who you got in the group?
Actually, I got my mind blank. I actually forgot.
Greece has got Denmark, Belarus,
Yeah.
and Scotland.
I think, let me check real quick, but I know for a fact that there's not really a group of death besides us.
I know which group of death.
Which one would you say is group of death?
England, Albania, Serbia.
That's a death for the other teams, not for England.
No, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, Albania and
There we go.
Serbia. So
Yeah, see, look, our one is, where is it? Right here, I just saw it. We've got, I think we're under Group A. Yeah, we've got Georgia. Kavaskilia's in that team. And I think
Georgia's good, man.
They've got
Georgia's a good team.
Mitazul, I think his name is.
Yeah,
the striker. Then we've got Spain.
Oh, interesting.
We've got Spain. Out of all teams, we get Spain.
Yeah, but if Scotland can beat Spain,
And
I'm
then
sure Turkey can beat them.
Yeah, and then we've got Bulgaria, who's probably not to disrespect Bulgaria, but
A weaker team.
weaker team. Okay, and for us, if we can just get wins against Bulgaria and Georgia,
Yeah, back-to-back
then we'll be
wins,
fine.
yeah.
We'll be fine.
I think
And
it's
get a
always
draw of
2
Spain.
wins, right?
Get a draw of Spain, but knowing Spain, they will outplay Turkey hard. That's how I see
Well,
it.
that's Spain for you.
But with a squad who you do have a couple of youngsters in that squad
Yeah.
too. You play against a team like Spain, who is generally going to be a younger team, I believe. The way that Turkey plays, and you watch Turkish football, it's very aggressive. It's very hard. Do you think that going into the game as a from a physical perspective, do you think you guys can outplay Spain in that sense?
I don't
do you think you can put enough fear
to
in
win.
the Spanish players?
I think more of a case that I wouldn't say fear. I would say that we will play our heart out to get a draw or win a 1-0 lead or win by a goal. It just all depends on how the game settles.
Yeah.
It's going to happen when it happens. But as long as we beat Georgia and Bulgaria, the problem with Turkey is that they lose to the lower tier teams. Like when we're in the group stages, like we might have the chance, we'll lose to Portugal or we might draw to Portugal, but then we'll go lose to Latvia. I'm just like, why are you losing to that Latvia? But like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, you'll go beat, that was it, yeah. You'll go beat France and then they'll go lose to Latvia. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Well, that's the beauty of football, I guess.
it is. And
It's upsetting, but
it is.
for you.
Yeah, for me.
But it's the beauty of football.
I mean, going back to that World Cup that France won, Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. They were like normal tradies, bro. They were just tradies.
Wasn't it the Euros?
That was
No,
the
The
Euros.
World Cup.
It was the World Cup.
Was the World Cup? I thought
It was
it
the
was
World
Euros.
Cup.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it was the World Cup. No,
I think it was the
No, it was the
Euros.
Euros when
It was the Euros. When France won.
Iceland beat England.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was the Euros. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're right. It was the Euros.
Yeah.
They were going to do the same thing in the World Cup, but the other teams were just too strong.
I think we kicked them out. I think Turkey kicked them
Yeah.
out. But Iceland, there were like a whole bunch of tradies in that team. They weren't even proper
Yeah,
players.
The coach was a
They were
doctor.
working
They had
class
to.
people.
I think
Coach was a doctor or a physio, I think.
I think some of the players had to get like a notice they had to give a notice to work to their job to get time off so they can go play for their country. Imagine going to your boss, hey, look, man, I can't come to
I've got
work
the
this
Euros
week.
coming up.
I got the Euros, and then he'll be like, "Why are you gonna go use? You're gonna go watch it?" No,
No, I'm actually
Boss,
playing. I'm in the
playing.
starting 11.
Yeah.
So
and then he goes, "Why are
they
you
probably
working?"
had one of them. They probably had an RDO that day anyway.
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Like, like watching them
sick leave.
play and listening to that stadium.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the clap.
good on them, man. Like good on Iceland,
Yeah.
man. Oh no, Iceland.
Yeah.
Iceland did some damage, and people could say that it wasn't a strong England team, but the names that England had compared to Iceland,
Yeah,
like
100%.
Well, I mean, I could probably say without a doubt that every one of those English players plays football full time.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, they train every day.
He's not going to the bakery and baking.
Yeah.
He's not an electrician.
Yeah, he's not an electrician. He's not a plumber.
No.
Next thing you know, the guys like the England players are going to training. These guys are like, yeah, okay, I got to wake up 6 a.m. Yeah, got my breakfast, have a smoko, and then got to get
It's
to work.
actually,
Going back to work. Training? What training? I'll see you on Saturday.
And as I said before, that's the beauty of football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's sort of teams you don't expect to win, but pull out something out of a
that's good.
But no, it's exciting times as well, not only for football but for our content space.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, we will be with 27 or 27 project. We've got a lot of things coming up as well. A lot of content.
Yep.
We will be collaborating with a lot of other content creators around Australia.
Yep.
I think the invite is there. If you guys want to have us on the show, we are looking at getting a whole bunch of podcasters and shows in for an episode one day, and we'll do some challenges. We'll hit the park. We'll have some fun.
Yep.
But just to get everyone united, I think is the goal. Bringing everyone together and
united by football.
United by football.
Shout out Abdul. Shout out Abdul and Thomas.
But I think watching the space grow in Australia and what the potential we have is amazing. You look at what they're doing in the UK and what all these content creators are, how they're collaborating, the football challenges, the charity games.
Yeah, and it's not just content creators we want to reach out to. We want to reach out to fans and people in general. Like we're going to be doing giveaways, and we'll do some events where we give away in a challenge.
Yeah. So it's obviously powered by our brand, the 90-Minute Club.
Yeah.
It is a giveaway brand.
Yep.
But it's not just your average giveaway. We want to engage with the fans as well and get them involved in football, because obviously football in this country is popular, but not as popular. And we want to get it to that level of popularity. You know what I mean? And I think collaborating with a lot of influencers and football content creators is something that is good for football in this country.
Yeah.
We want obviously the A-League to grow as well. Obviously it's not going to be easy, but we're up for the challenge.
Yeah.
We're always up for the challenge.
We're here. We're here for that.
But it's something that we want to grow and we want to build as well with everyone around us. So exciting things coming up. I can just say that. We don't want to give too much away. We are in talks with funny enough, we're in talks with a high-profile footballer.
Yeah.
Not going to name who it is.
No, not that.
But I guess once all is clear and we do name that high-profile footballer, everyone would know who he is.
Yeah.
But look, it's something that is very exciting for us, and I think it's a gradual build to being successful regarding the football content space in this country. It's needed.
100%.
It is very popular, and I think that something like this is brewing. Obviously, we've seen it with other content creators as well, and they're doing an amazing job with that. So,
I mean, put it this way: in 2015, Real Madrid came to play, and on that day, they had, I believe it was the AFL Grand Final. There were more people watching that Real Madrid game. There were people outside the stadium watching on the massive screen in Melbourne. I was there. I was trying to catch public transport, and you couldn't because it was so packed. And you look at the AFL game and there was no one there. It was all over the news and people writing about it. But there is a massive football following in Australia,
and it's not shown enough.
Let's get it in. Let's engage it. Let's light this fire.
Yes,
that has been brewing for a very long time.
And let's see where we can take this.